And we're back. Mike Cernovich, Facebook.com/Mike Cernovich, bringing you Fake News Watch. We've had a lot of fake news come up in the day, and I love it when we get fake news in the mainstream media because it puts them on their back foot. So let's focus on one set of fake news, and I'll kind of tee it up, and then they have a great video. Production team has a great video, and we'll watch that. But as you know, if Alex Jones one day said he had turkey for lunch, and then a reporter goes, well, actually, he had chicken. Fake news, you can't trust anything, right? Let us get one thing wrong ever, and they try for our entire lives to follow that. Well, he said one time in 2011, this one thing, and it was wrong. These people, though, they're getting it wrong every day. So let's use a recent example. As we know, 17 agencies did not say Russia and Trump colluded. We all know this is a fact, okay? But if you go to the ironically titled PolitiFact, they go, well, you know, we said in an article that all 17 intelligence agencies found collusion. Well, now it's only really 4, but it doesn't really matter, right? I mean, it could be 17. We said 17 because we thought that was more damaging. But now that that's wrong and it's only 4, well, it doesn't really matter because So they are admitting that they do not pay scrupulous attention to the facts. 2 more people in the fake news media spread that same lie, and I can't even keep track. I'm going to hire an intern to just monitor the fake news because there's so much every day. Very fake news, Jim Acosta, who is screaming that his pen tweet says we are fake or we are real news. He claimed that 17 intelligence agencies found collusion between Trump and Russia. Well, that's fake. He didn't apologize. He didn't come forward. He didn't say, I got that wrong. Katie Tour of NBC tweeted out 17 agencies. It is 17, Mr. President. It is 17 agencies, Mr. President. It was only 4. She deleted her tweet. She hasn't apologized. She hasn't issued a retraction. NBC hasn't issued a retraction. CNN hasn't issued a retraction. So that PolitiFact, PolitiFact said, well, I mean, we got it wrong. It was only 4, but not 17. But it doesn't matter anyway because something, you know, hope you have a goldfish memory and you just forget about what you said, but So that's the fake news every day. So they have to go back years to find anything that I got wrong. They have to go back years to find anything that Alex Jones got wrong. But then they act like that's all we do, even though we give real news 99.99999% of the time. Occasionally, but then when we apologize, they treat us like we're the bad guys, right? When we actually say, well, you know, that story went off the rails. That's why I don't talk about it anymore. Then they go, oh, see, they admit they spread fake news. We're real news because we're correcting ourselves. So Jim Acosta has not apologized for that fake article. Neither has Katie Tour. PolitiFact hasn't apologized. So speaking of Jim Acosta, we have a great video on him. Let's load that up and watch that.
Again, say you think it was Russia. Your intelligence agencies have been far more definitive. They say it was Russia. Why won't you agree with them and say it was?
Well, I'll tell you, let me just start off by saying I heard it was 17 agencies. I said, boy, that's a lot. Do we even have that many intelligence agencies, right? Let's check it. And we did some very heavy research. It turned out to be 3 or 4. It wasn't 17. And many of your compatriots had to change their reporting, and they had to apologize, and they had to correct. Now, with that being said, mistakes have been made. I agree. I think it was Russia, but I think it was probably other people and or countries, and I see nothing wrong with that statement.
When he said, well, I keep hearing it's 17 intelligence agencies that say Russia meddled in the election. I think it's only 3 or 4. Where does that number come from? Where is this 3 or 4 number come from? My suspicion, Chris and Poppy, is that if we go to the administration and
Jim
ask them this
Acosta,
question,
whose pen tweet says, we are real news, Mr. President, tweeted out, or that's his pen tweet, and he goes, we got Trump again. We got him again. And this is the great thing. We now have CNN on the run. He's making dumb mistakes. They think, oh, we got Trump again. We got Trump busted this time. They're drunk with power and they're making a lot of mistakes. And that is why we have to keep pushing the advantage. That is why we got to keep going hard every day because Jim Acosta is going to they want to correct you, right? They're so quick to correct you, and they're so drunk with power, and they're so unaccountable, and they're used to nobody ever calling them out, and for them not fact checking, that they don't understand what's going on. Speaking of Jim Acosta, there's more about him, more fake news about Jim Acosta. He lied to the public a couple weeks ago. We're going to cover that again right after the break. Glad to tell you guys and gals listening at home, the DNA Force is finally back on stock. When I came in to visit, I was trying to get some for myself because I do use the products that I talk about. Otherwise, I wouldn't talk about them. And DNA Force, they told me it was out of stock, and I had met with well, I'm not going to tell you who, but I met with the people who are responsible for distribution, and they said it's so hard to keep it in stock because of the raw ingredients. And when you run out of the raw ingredients and the formulations are kept a certain way, then you run out, and it costs a lot of money to produce. It's a very, very valuable product, very, very healthy for your body, has antioxidants. It makes people feel so much better. So I'm glad that it's back in stock because I need to get some for myself. And I do believe it's 20% off right now at InfoWarsLife.com. DNA Force. It is 20% off. Okay, I'm seeing it on screen. So yeah, it is 20% off. It's finally back in stock. That one is a great product, especially too for the people here who, I don't want to call anybody old, but for the people, say on the other side of maybe 40, this is when products like these are especially helpful. Very, very powerful stuff. So I'm glad to announce that that's back in stock. And you know what else is back in stock? Jim Acosta. I may call me, I don't know. It's my hobby. I could never get enough of beating up Jim Acosta. It never gets old to me. It never stops being fun making fun of CNN. So Jim Acosta, we saw yesterday, claimed, Trump said that it was only 3 or 4 intelligence agencies who found collusion. It was really 17, and So he lied, but he actually fabricated a source, and this was to make Trump look bad. So I'll take you back to when Congressman Scalise was shot. He was shot, and then very fake news. Jim Acosta tweeted out, Donald Trump did not meet him in the hospital, according to an official source. This is his exact tweet. White House official on Trump visit. President Trump did not meet with Scalise and did not go to the room where he was being treated. What a monster Trump is. What a terrible person. Very fake news. Jim Acosta has a White House official as a source. Well, it was fake. That is a complete and total fabrication. That was a complete and total lie. Trump had visited him. And then here's how very fake news Jim Acosta tried to weasel his way out. He goes, well, I was just quoting the press, right? But that's not, so he first said, White House official says Trump didn't visit Scalise, didn't go into his room. And then people go, actually, that's a lie. You're a fraud, dude. That isn't what happened. Trump did go in there. And then Acosta goes, oh, well, I was only quoting the White House press pool. Well, wait a minute, Jim. Wait a minute, Jim. You're dealing with the lawyer here. I'm a lawyer and a journalist. Do you think I'm just going to let you get away with that kind of BS? You think that I can't keep track of what you just said 5 minutes ago, Jim? You're not dealing with the low IQ idiots you deal with on a normal basis at CNN. You're dealing with the lawyer. So, Jim, your tweet said White House official, quote. So you can't blame it on the press pool. The press pool is not a White House official. So that's what Jim Acosta does. That's how fake he is. He fabricated a source. That is journalistic fraud. That is unethical journalism at the highest. Of course, he wasn't fired, right? Of course, he wasn't fired from CNN, even though he made up a source. And then he goes, oh, well, got it from the press pool. No, Jim. You made up a source. You are a fraud. You are very fake news. He was never fired. The only reason, a lot of people don't know this, the only reason those 3 journalists at CNN were fired for lying about Scaramucci, or Mooch as his friends call him, is because he was going to sue him for $100 million. He was going to sue CNN into bankruptcy, just like, because Scaramucci has been very successful, private equity, done a lot of real estate deals, has the money to take on CNN. He goes, fine, I'm going to sue you $100 million. Jeff Zucker freaked out. Oh my God. We got to do something. That's the only reason they got fired. They didn't get fired because CNN has ethics or integrity or because they cared. They got fired because they committed fabrication. And let's talk about the 3 journalists who got fired. One of them had won a Pulitzer Prize. One of them had been nominated for a Pulitzer. They'd come from the New York Times, very prestigious people. That's how fake the whole media industrial complex is, or the media pharma complex, as I call it. I've said that if you work for CNN or the New York Times or Washington Post, here's your legacy. You bully people who don't have the means to take you on, and you shill products for big pharma. That's your legacy. You watched All the President's Men. You thought you're going to be Woodward and Bernstein. Nope. You are a shill for big pharma. That's your only reason you exist. Your only legacy will be bullying people and selling drugs to big pharma. So think about that. I mean, if Scaramucci had not had the money it took to sue CNN, if he was just a regular person, they'd destroy his life. Just like CNN tried to destroy the life of that Reddit user, where some people said the guy was 15, other people he said he's middle-aged. It doesn't really matter. The guy's a private citizen. CNN sent 4 private investigators to scour his Reddit, Facebook, to call his family, harass his friends. That's what they would do to you. They would crush everybody listening here. If they knew your name, if you're listening right now, or if you're watching on Periscope or YouTube or Facebook or at Infowars.com, if they got a hold of your name, they would destroy your life. CNN. But CNN is the bullying victim. They are valued at $20 billion. There's a merger, a proposed merger right now, as if concentration of media ownership isn't a big enough problem, right? As if it's already not a big enough problem that 6 corporations control 90% of media. AT&T and Time Warner are going to merge. CNN and that merger is being valued at $20 million. This year's profits alone at CNN estimated to be $1 billion. You sure make a lot more money selling drugs people don't need to cure diseases that polluted water cause than you do being honest and truthful. That's why I love when they did a hate article on Alex recently. They go, oh, he sells supplements, even though you can buy the same supplements at Sprouts and Trader Joe's and Whole Foods and everything, and water filters you can buy everywhere on Amazon. But somehow it's bad for Alex Jones to sell great products like DNA Force that help people feel better, that help detoxify the body from this very polluted world. Somehow it's a problem to have InfoWarsLife.com and sell people products. That's bad. That you're shilling. How dare you sell supplements to people? How dare you? But hey, why don't you take this big drug? And why don't you take that drug? And why don't you take this other drug that will never cure you, because Big Pharma doesn't want to cure diseases? They instead want to treat, and of course, a lot of it, statins have been shown to actually cause heart attacks. So a lot of these drugs, and where's the retraction? Where's the investigative journalism into statins, S-T-A-T-I-N-S? It has now been proven that not only are statins not effective for the vast majority of people, most of the studies were fabricated or used out of context, but for many people, it can cause heart attacks. Wouldn't a real journalist do an expose on that? Where's the CNN feature story? Statins, are they really giving you a heart attack? Where's that big special on CNN? Statins, they could kill you, man. Well, they're never gonna do that. That's how fake these people are. They try to act like they are betters, that they are superiors intellectually, morally, when all they do is shill drugs that are bad for people. Are they gonna apologize for that fake news now? For all those advertisements that they shared and all those checks they cashed, where they shilled for statins, which we now know are harmful for the vast majority of people. Are they going to issue a retraction? Are they going to give that money back? Are they going to say, well, we took all those billions of dollars in advertising, we're feeling kind of bad, maybe we shouldn't have done it. So why do people treat CNN like anything other than what it is? A multinational $20 billion corporate conglomerate. That's all it is. If you work for CNN or the Washington Post or the New York Times, which is owned by Carlos Slim, Washington Post owned by Jeff Bezos, which, I shop a lot at Amazon, so I'm always conflicted, but I love Amazon. So, Bezos, he gets a lot of money from me in Amazon, but I don't subscribe to the Washington Post. The point is, though, the Washington Post is owned by Jeff Bezos, who's a billionaire. The New York Times is owned by Carlos Slim. Oh, not really owned. PolitiFact. Let's apply the PolitiFact logic to my statement. I'll often say the New York Times is owned by Carlos Slim, and people go, how dare you say he owns it? He's only the largest shareholder who owns 18% or 1/5 of the company. How dare you call him the owner, though, right? That is how this fake news machinery works. They will nitpick everything we say and not give us any margin for hyperbole, any margin for kind of like getting the gist of it right. They won't go, well, they'll go PolitiFact, fact check. Mike Cernovich claimed on Infowars that Carlos Slim's owned the New York Times. False. 4 Pinocchios. Liar, liar, pants on fire. He's not the owner. And then they'll bury it in their little analysis. Well, he's the largest shareholder at 17.5% or 18% or whatever, 1/5 of the company. So that'll be buried. The headline, though, will say Cernovich lied. But then when PolitiFact themselves go, well, 17 intelligence agencies said that Trump and Russia colluded, and it was really only 4, they're going to go, well, I mean, the gist of it was right. The gist of that, I mean, it wasn't 17. We said it was 17. It wasn't. And we're here to tell you that facts matter, and we're tired of the alternative facts coming from the pro-Trump media universe. Facts matter. Well, if facts matter, and you claim 17 intelligence organizations found collusion, and it was only 4, then you have spread an alternative fact. You have spread a false fact. Own it. But then they go, well, no, it was 4. We said 17, but the gist of it is true. The gist is that, da-da-da-da-da. That's why they're losing, too. I mean, let's look at the ratings right now, because this is why I'm optimistic. Look at me. Do I look tired? I worked every day. I work every day. Do you see me looking? I took my daughter for a 4-mile hike. She's like 20 pounds. First thing in the morning, 6:30 in the morning, I'm hiking her, it was really only 7:15 in the morning. That's what the fake news media would do. They're like, well, Cernovich claims, he hiked his daughter at 6:30, but according to the Instagram timestamp, it was actually 7:18 p.m. and he said 4 miles, but it was actually 3.973. So, fake news, 4 Pinocchios, liar, liar, pants on fire, but really got him. Oh, but if we said 17 agencies, determined collusion, but it was only 4, hey, man, chill out, bro. Give us the benefit of the doubt. No, you got to apply the same standard to everybody. The reason I feel so good, though, just like because I don't take drugs. Megyn Kelly tried to accuse Alex Jones of taking drugs. That's how, because they have no soul. If you're Megyn Kelly, you don't, because I've been to the Infowars people. Everybody enjoys their jobs. Don't get me wrong, a job's a job, even if you have a dream job at Infowars. And my job is a dream job. I mean, you're still tired. You still have to deal with BS. It's not like there's no Shangri-La on this world or the next, right? But the energy at Infowars is contagious, it's palpable. People enjoy what they're doing. Everybody must be on drugs. Because Megyn Kelly, her heart isn't into what she's doing. She knows every day that she wakes up and shaves her face and puts on the eyeliner. She knows that she's a liar and that she's going to have to, and that doesn't feel good unless you're a true sociopath, which I don't think Megyn's a true sociopath. I mean, she's like borderline. She's got to look, and as she's shaving, her face every day in the morning, she's thinking to herself, I got to look these people in the eye and lie to them. I got to lie to these people today. I got to just make things up. I have to shill for warmongers. I have to shill for warmongers. I have to shill for globalists. I have to shill for people who want to murder children and for child traffickers. She's got to shill for pedophiles. That's her. So, of course, she has no energy. She probably has to take a beta blocker and all kinds of drugs, because how do you look people in the eye knowing that you're defending pedophiles, you're defending warmongers, you're defending child sex traffickers, you're defending the Saudis, you're defending people like John Podesta? That's your job? We must all be on drugs because we feel so good all the time. But I'll tell you why we feel good and why everybody listening should be optimistic about the future. and why we are grateful for you, all rolled into one, side by side. Paul Joseph Watson video versus CNN ratings. The highest rated person on CNN is Anderson Cooper. Anderson Cooper does around 900,000 for his best show, right? Best show. And that is not real ratings because they play in the airport. If you got CNN kicked out of the airports and kicked out of our public schools, they would have maybe 100,000 viewers. So once you factor in Paul's Facebook and factor in Paul's YouTube, 3 million views a day. These are just brand new videos of Paul, 713,000, 400,000, 451,000, 700,000, 600,000. And these are his Twitter views. Paul's Twitter is doing like 250 million views a month, right? So his videos are doing millions of views on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, consistently. I had a video going after CNN, a meme compilation. It's already reached 10 million people. We have the screen cap from the Facebook because the fake news media is going to be like, well, BS, baloney, liars. 10 million viewers. I'll see if I can pull up the screen cap here on my phone or whatever and show you guys. So my facebook.com/Mike Cernovich, we post a lot of videos there and great memes and other kind of stuff. So I'll show you. It is done 4.2 million views already, and it's reached over 10 million people. I mean, they can call me, they can throw a fit all they want. You can look at the analytics. So one video alone, 4.2 million views. It's reached 10,041,000 people. My videos for 1 week alone, facebook.com/Mike Cernovich, 10,247,000. Over 10 million views from Facebook. 16,698,000 people reached on my Facebook, right? That is why they're freaking out. They don't do ratings like that at CNN. And Paul's Facebook probably way bigger than mine. I don't have his analytics, but I mean, Paul's owns the video space, right? So Paul Joseph Watson, Paul the Great, his Facebook is killing it. His Twitter is killing it. His YouTube is killing it. That is why I'm optimistic, and that is why I want to thank everybody here. A lot of you can support the show, InfoWarsStore.com or InfoWarsLife.com, buying the products, the toothpaste, the sunscreen for the summer, the DNA Force is great for you. But not everybody wants the products or can use the products or times are tight. Hey, you can share the links. If all everybody did was share the links, the InfoWars would be 10 times bigger than it was. Everybody would get 10 times bigger. So you can always join the InfoWar. You can get the great products, use the great products, or you can just share the links every day of your life and increase the level of consciousness of the world.